What up, y'all? It's your boy Jersey JV here with another banger for you guys. Flush your gang, flush your squad. Join the gang, join the squad. Now let's get to it. Floss up. Today, I'm rocking the 90 custom Raiders jersey because I want to see another Minecraft reaction because I saw everybody went crazy for the other one. So, yeah, we just going to go ahead and get started. Let's see what's going on. Why's he got that look on his face? That's crazy. Hey. Alright, y'all. Make sure I go ahead and react to game theory, but we're going to go ahead and jump ahead a little bit.
Probably fall into one of two camps. Those yelling, "At last our prayers are answered." Sure that all Today, I'm here to talk about the Dream SMP. And now that I've said that, I'm sure that all of my viewers probably fall into one of two camps. Those yelling, "At last our prayers are answered," and those that are wondering what the heck I'm talking about. So,
yep, that's me. What's SMP?
All about Minecraft or YouTube or Minecraft YouTubers. You've probably heard of a guy named Dream. He's become famous for a lot of things, including manhunt videos, unsolved mystery videos, as well as an appearance on one of this channel's very own Minecraft lore videos. Excuse me, why is there a big neon green block creature in my video? But one of the things that's really blown up over the course of the last year is the Dream SMP, or Survival Multiplayer Server. So you might be thinking, Survival Multiplayer Server, so it's just Dream playing.
Oh, that's dope. So he has his own server that people get onto, and it's like everybody gets on there and they you just have to survive if you make it on the server, and everybody out there is just trying to kill you and stuff like that. That seems like a dope server.
Minecraft with a lot of his friends, and, well, yeah, sort of. The truth is that the Dream SMP is to Minecraft survival multiplayer what professional wrestling is to, well, the sport of wrestling. Which is to say, it's structured improv. There's a story here, made by a team of writers. Yeah, writers, plural. It's not to say that everyone's reading from a script. While the broad strokes of the plot are planned out, all of the connective tissue between those major plot beats is improvised. And of course, there's room for plenty of unexpected gameplay moments. No. My thing!
Oh, okay, so this is the same.
That wasn't in the script. Just wait.
So this is similar to the Timmy in it video. So I guess he's part of Dream server or something like that. Because yeah, those are the dudes that I was reacting to last time. That seems kind of fire. So that's cool though. They get everybody together and they have people like trying to read off a script and act it out on the Minecraft. Man, I'm gonna have to get into Minecraft. This is fire.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the world of professional wrestling, that is what we call a shoot, or a moment in professional wrestling that's unplanned, unscripted, or just an actual real-life occurrence. Am I ruining this for anyone in the audience? We all know that professional wrestling is scripted, right? Trying to summarize the timeline of the Dream SMP is like trying to summarize the timeline of the 20th century.
Not back in my day.
Trying to start it, have to cover the birth of a nation in no fewer than 4 separate wars. And that's not me making a joke or trying to make an analogy here. A lot of the story here is political in nature, with the ongoing narrative being one of a nation in turmoil, with warring political factions trying to gain power over the populace by...
That's dope. So they went deep in their whole little setup, man. They went deep into it. Like, okay, actually getting into war and political state. Maybe watch that YouTube History Guy channel. Found some good ideas based on the history of the actual world and put something together. This is dope.
Any means
I had no idea
and
Minecraft
all
was
of
this
it is
deep
taking
when I
place
first
within live streams.
reacted to
lots and lots of very long live streams. There have been over 30 people involved in this thing, with the narrative playing out over hundreds of hours of live streaming. Actually, just saying hundreds of hours is understating it, because totaling up all the live streams across multiple channels to see the POV of multiple participants already gives you close to 100 videos to watch, and any one of those could be upwards of 6 to 8 hours in length. It feels almost impossible to catch up with this thing too, considering how often new live streams are happening. Seriously, I feel like I have to put a disclaimer here that the script for this video is being written right before Christmas, which almost guarantees that by the time it comes out, the things I'm predicting have either been proven right or horribly wrong. At the same time, I could not talk about this thing. It was, without question, the biggest thing happening in gaming.
Okay, so I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say that the prediction is that Timmy in it takes over the whole world. Yeah, that's my prediction. What y'all got?
in 2020, just behind Among Us. A group of friends blowing up together on Twitch because they're using Minecraft to create an ongoing improv narrative is incredible and absolutely worthy of attention. Plus, I was getting a lot of requests on Twitter to do a theory about this, and I didn't want to ignore you guys. At MattPatGT, by the way. Plus, I'm a musical theater nerd. I hear a Hamilton reference, I like it.
Make sure you support.
Plus, I was getting a lot of requests on Twitter to do a theory about this, and I didn't want to ignore you guys. At MattPatGT.
Make sure y'all support. Go follow him on Twitter if you're seeing this. All right.
By the way. Plus, I'm a musical theater nerd. I hear a Hamilton reference, I like it.
I practiced law. Wilbur, work next door.
Even though we started at the very same time, Tommy Innit began to climb. How to account for his rise to the top.
Man, the Hamilton references are non-stop. And since we are on the subject of Hamilton,
They went to
Hamilton musical
Hamilton?
actually provides a really good framework for how to approach telling a story with the scope of everything that's happening in the Dream SMP. Much like Hamilton took a series of history-defining events spanning several decades and condensed it down into a 3-hour musical character study, this theory is going to be taking a series of events spanning several months of 6+ hour long live streams and condense it down into, well, something kind of resembling a character study centering on one specific hero. And
This is dope because now that, I mean, if you guys are only seeing this through my channel and stuff like that, through my last reaction, then now we can catch up on the story, see what's going on, and actually now know what the heck I was watching the other day.
spoilers for those of you who don't know the ending of Hamilton, but this story also ends in tragedy. In short, today's video is all about who history has had its eyes on and who you should have your eyes on going forward in the Dream SMP.
Yeah.
And spoiler alert,
Yeah.
he's already dead. And with that intro, allow me to tell you the tragic tale of the rise and fall of a tyrant and why he might be poised to rise once again, this time from beyond the grave. For a bit of background, there are several major...
Somebody's going to come back from the dead. I like it. Vamp style. Hey. Vamp anthem.
factions that exist within the Dream SMP, the largest of which is, confusingly enough, named Dream SMP. For the sake of clarity, most have taken to referring to this faction as the Greater Dream SMP, and I'm gonna follow their lead. It's the closest thing to being a neutral faction, almost a sort of default faction for the characters who haven't split off to do their own thing. As you might guess, it's led by its founder, Dream. Dream also gets executive veto over who's allowed in the server. For instance, back in July, when Jay Schlatt joined the server for the first time, he was banned very shortly after, since Dream didn't know him. When it's your party, you get to decide who's on the guest list, I suppose. The first major faction to declare its independence from the Greater Dream SMP was L'Manberg, back in late July, with the war for independence between L'Manberg and the Dream Team faction finally settling in early August. L'Manberg started as an autocratic nation-state with self-appointed dictator, President Wilbursuit, presiding with Tommy Innit as his right-hand man. However, that dictator for
Tommy Innit is going to take over. That's my prediction. Tommy Innit is going to be the one to come out over this all on top. That's my prediction right now.
Life thing didn't really pan out long term. After all, a ruler only rules by the consent of the governed, and despite the fact that Wilbursuit had declared himself supreme leader, the citizens weren't taking his orders all that seriously. So what do you do if you want to shore up legitimacy as a ruler? You hold a democratic election.
I'm running for president. The reason I'm running for president is because, well, I felt like it was unfair of me to decide myself to be a dictator.
Okay, so maybe if you want to believe the man himself, it was because he grew a conscience. Anyway, Wilbursuit, joined by Tommy Innit as his running mate, ran as the Politicians of Gaming, or POG for short. The problem with democratic elections is that, well, people can run against you. Quackity, who'd been up to that point a L'Manberg outsider, decided to run against him because, well, you've got to have yourself an opposition party.
My name is Quackity, and I am running for president simply because I didn't think it was fair for Wilbursuit to run a one-party democratic election, or so democratic as he wants to call it. It's very unfair to for Wilbur and all the people in L'Manberg to vote for just one party.
Quackity ran under the party.
Voting for one party, you don't really have a choice. Shoot, to be honest, sometimes even if you're voting for two, you don't really have a choice. As we kind of learned during these recent elections.
Banner of So We Are Gamers, or SWAG for short, choosing George Not Found as his running mate, who promptly lived up to his name by failing to show up to the presidential debate. Way to have a brand and stick to it, man. Oh, and you heard me right, presidential debate. The parties of SWAG 2020 and POG 2020 ran full-on campaigns, including key endorsements. Quackity was at an immediate disadvantage here, as his one key alleged endorsement, KSI, never actually showed up.
My one endorsement is KSI. He just hasn't happened to responded yet to my endorsement plea. He's my one endorsement.
KSI? More like KSI not found. Him and George not found playing Yahtzee in the corner. Wilbur and Tommy in it, wanting
KSI
to show the
didn't
voters
go?
that they were the party that best represented the will of the people.
KSI was probably training, you know what I'm saying? Getting his boxing skills up. Getting ready for that rematch.
People touted several key endorsements. The most notable of them came from Jay Schlatt. Now, you might be asking yourself, wait, Jay Schlatt, didn't I just say that he was banned back in July, several months before the election took place? And
They
that
must have
was what the
got him
crowd said
unbanned.
too. But apparently a server ban wasn't about to stop Wilbur and Tommy from bringing him in to deliver the key endorsement.
Now, after doing a lot of negotiations,
Get out
boys,
of here.
I
I've got
managed
my
to...
endorsement. Here he comes. The one, the only.
He's back in town!
Except Jay Schlatt's endorsement speech went very quickly off the rails.
Democracy is overrated. You think you need a president? I'll be my own president.
Stick to the script. Off the stage, please. Off the stage.
Anyway, with this wild card entering the race, things had thoroughly gone to chaos. With Jay Schlatt actually challenging him, Wilbur and Tommy decided to resort to political horse trading. In order to avoid the possibility of a Jay Schlatt presidency, why not invite Swag 2020 to join Pog 2020 to form a giant super party, SWOG? A fusion event so great that it would be guaranteed to beat Jay Schlatt. Unfortunately,
What? This is getting crazy. Like, should I start taking notes? Oh, yeah, I got your pen and your pads out, so... Because this has turned into a whole lot of political intrigue.
it backfired. The good news was that Quackity, who didn't actually want to be president and was only running as a challenger to Wilbur, was willing to give his party's votes to another party. The bad news was that he chose Jay Schlatt.
I was enticed by your swag idea until you immediately admitted to me that you would only use me for votes. You guys have clearly been trying to use me this entire time. So it's Schlatt 2020.
It's the kind of thing that makes you think maybe from the start that this was all a ruse by Jay Schlatt, promising to endorse Pog 2020 only to get himself unbanned and then enter the fray and take over for himself.
That's a good plan. If he set it all up beforehand like that, he's probably a mastermind. And they should be careful. They should be looking out for this guy, because this guy's probably on some next level stuff, man. I gotta get serious. Focus in here. What's going on?
The man over here is executing some epic big brain maneuvers. In the end, Pog
Big
2020
brain
won
maneuvers.
45%
10,000
of the vote,
IQ
Swag
toast style
2020 won
maneuvers.
30% of the vote, Jay Schlatt won 16% of the vote. With Swag giving its votes to Jay Schlatt wins the election with a combined total of 46%, barely beating out Pog's 45%. And
That's
that
crazy.
is where the reign of terror begins.
Hey, man, majority rules. Majority rules. That's if he gets voted in, you just gotta abide by it.
Schlatt, having effectively hijacked the democratic process, decided that it was time to run the old party out of town.
My first decree as the president of L'Manberg, the emperor of this great country, is to revoke the citizenship of Wilbur Soot and Tommy Innit.
Get him out of here.
Wilbur Soot and Tommy Innit were exiled. The Pog 2020 campaign was no more, but it lived on in spirit within the nation of Pogtopia, building their own secret base of operations and working with a few members of the administration who managed to avoid exile. That's right,
Nice.
we had a spy on the inside of Jay Schlatt's operation, and that spy's name was Tubbo. Despite winning the election, Jay Schlatt wasn't really winning over the people. You know, calling democracy a lie, immediately exiling half the population, ain't gonna win you too many friends. So to get a few popularity points, he began planning the Manberg Festival as a celebration of democracy, with Tubbo to plan the events and deliver the keynote speech. Tubbo and the old guard seized the opportunity.
I like the background music. It makes it feel, you feel the intrigue. You feel the suspense going on here. Makes you wonder.
To upstage the festival by placing TNT under the event stage. All Tubbo had to do was to give his speech and run away before the TNT went off, but Jay Schlatt had other plans.
Our people have been beaten down by royals and dictators for so long, now we are finally free. Free to elect who we want, free to live how we want. I'd like to thank everyone for coming to this wonderful event. What's wrong, Schlatt?
No, it's just, I was just thinking about it, Tubbo.
Nothing sinister at all about that laugh. By
What?
the end of the speech, Jay Schlatt had encased the undercover spy Tubbo in yellow concrete, sentencing him to immediate execution.
Help me do something real quick.
Okay.
Schlatt, what are you,
Yeah.
Schlatt, what are you doing?
Tubbo,
Yeah?
I know what you've been up to.
Actually,
Fire it with the the tyrants that we kicked out of this server.
Hey, he was on to him.
Country. Do you know what happens to traitors, Tubbo?
Tubbo was sentenced to death by rocket launcher, with Tubbo's ally.
Oh, wow, they hit him with the launcher. They came with the pow. Oh, dang, I wish I could take that back, but I only do one take. All right, just imagine I didn't do that, and then I'm going to come again with the I think that was better. Y'all tell me which one y'all appreciated more.
Technoblade being the one to serve as executioner. There was a little accidental collateral damage with Jay Schlatt also dying in the explosion, but don't worry, he got better. Across all of these events, one thing should be painfully clear. Jay Schlatt is, in D&D terms, totally lawful evil. Wilbur Soot, not the character, but the out-of-character writer, who's the closest thing we have to a creative authority for this chapter of the SMP, confirmed in a Reddit post, quote, Schlatt is very lawful evil. Schlatt follows one creed. I was elected fairly. I will rule until I lose the next election. He uses this power malevolently to assert dominance and punish rebellious factions.
Hey, that's great.
On punishment. Schlatt isn't very
Hey, man, that seems fair to me. He won. If y'all didn't like it, y'all should have won.
Concerned with keeping order or even maintaining justice. His priority is delivering suffering and pain to those he sees as deserving it under the law. Now, after this failed attempt at insurgency, it was only inevitable that Jay Schlatt's Manberg would go to war with Pogtopia. With Jay Schlatt's...
Okay, so now the other factions are going to war, and we're going to have to figure it out. I still think that Tommy in it, whichever... That my boy from the last video, he's gonna come out on top. Watch.
Reign of Terror coming to an end in the
most make you forget about him
way possible. Running away from the fighting, stumbling into the hot dog van that originally served as the nexus for Wilbur Soot and Tommy and its drug empire, getting drunk and experiencing what appeared to be a stroke or a heart attack.
Anybody smell toast?
For those of you who don't know, smelling toast is actually a classic symptom of having a stroke. Anyway, the much beloved leader received a massive funeral.
The more you know.
With everyone behaving with exactly the level of reverence and decorum that you'd expect them to show for Jay Schlatt.
His entire body was picked apart and taken.
What remains weren't taken as souvenirs, were recovered by Quackity as part of a plot of his own.
I have a plan. Within my possession are all 5 of Jay Schlatt's bones. I busted that grave open and I took it.
Wait, you're gonna try and bring Jay Schlatt back to life?
We bring Jay Schlatt back to life. But you know what Frankenstein did when he brought Frankenstein 2 back to life?
What did he do?
Frankenstein 2 was under his command.
Yeah.
You know what this means? We can use
that's a good
Jay
idea.
Schlatt as a political puppet.
Quackity, did you actually read the book? Because if your takeaway was Frankenstein animated a monster and it was completely under his control and totally did not backfire at all, you might want to read a few of those chapters again. So with that level setting out of the way, what follows are my predictions about the future of the Dream SMP. And
I already told y'all, no matter if he doesn't have Tommy in it, taking over the leadership role, then it's wrong. It's wrong.
All centers around one man in particular. First off, in case it wasn't obvious, we haven't seen the last of Jay Schlatt. And I'm not just talking about his appearance as a ghost in a live stream of questionable canonicity.
Is this like part of the plot that you guys script?
It's pretty. You know what? It's fine. It's fine. How are you doing?
He's been too big a player for far too long to simply be written out of existence. And more importantly, the groundwork has been laid for his eventual resurrection. Wilbur Soot mentioned on a live stream that the team was playing with the idea that each character gets 3 canon deaths before it's considered permanent.
Everyone gets 3.
Everyone gets 3 canon deaths.
Before they real life die, yes.
Even if we count Jay Schlatt's death during the festival rocket launcher explosion as canon, between that and his heart attack / stroke, he's yet to use up all his lives. Besides, this is too good of an opportunity for history to repeat itself in an absolutely poetic fashion. Because while Jay Schlatt is lawful evil and motivated to punish people for going against him, his role as Punisher is much more central than that. Jay Schlatt is almost like a karmic force in the universe who punishes people for their hubris. Remember, the entire reason he was able to rejoin the server in the first place was because the POG 2020 party thought it would be politically advantageous for them to receive his endorsement. They looked to use Jay Schlatt as a tool to achieve their own political ends, and it backfired terribly, leading to them not only losing the election, but being forced into exile by the monster they had helped to create, ultimately leading to an all-out war against the faction that he usurped from them. And now we have ourselves a cackling Quackity saying that he plans to use the powers of necromancy to reanimate Schlatt.
It doesn't matter what he does. Tommy Innit is gonna be the man.
Flat as a political puppet, so now he can seize control of Manberg. Quackity, have you learned nothing? Based on the comment about Frankenstein's monster, the answer seems to be yes. It's my view that Jay Schlatt, more than being a mere villain here, is really more like a force of nature, something that people have and will continue to try and harness for their own end, with predictable results every time. Anytime someone starts thinking of seizing power for themselves, like Wilbur Soot did in the early days of Manberg, and like Quackity's done more recently, it'll end predictably, with Jay Schlatt conniving some scheme that results in him returning to the game and him eventually sitting on the throne, with the people around him being forced to do battle against the very monster they helped to create. Much like the Joker in The Dark Knight, his real power hinges on his ability to bring out the worst in others, and the only way for him to lose is for the people around him to allow their better selves to take over. Until then, Jay Schlatt will continue to be a relentless force, delivering karmic irony upon those who think they can use him as a puppet. But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching.
All right. I like the theory. That was good, but he's wrong because Tommy Innit is going to be the king of everything by the end of the day. He's going to rule over, have everything, whatever, and everybody's going to love it, and everybody's going to be having a good time. But, I mean, as far as this theory goes with Jay Schlatt, I can understand it. And now that I have the back history of the server, I'm gonna be tracking this because I want to know exactly how this ends and everything like that. But with that, I hope y'all, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell. Thank you for watching all the way through, and I'll see you next video. All right, later.